Don't eat pork rinds before 10 a.m., they said. Don't eat too much Tabasco, they said. I'll do it anyway. Paleo, no grains, limited dairy, no preservatives, no artificial sweeteners. Let's go see what grain-free finds Costco has. Now, Costco has leveled up in the keto world, they've leveled up in the vegan world, but they've leveled up in the paleo world. There are some really cool finds that we can get in there. So we're gonna go see what is hot in terms of brand new paleo finds at Costco. Let's roll. It's important to know that keto and paleo are not the same thing. Paleo is more about being grain-free, living super close to the earth, what our ancestors would have consumed. It really has nothing to do with macronutrients. It really doesn't. Whereas keto is much more about making sure you do not go over a certain amount of carbohydrates or making sure that you have a certain amount of fat. It's a lot of a different ballgame. So keto can definitely be paleo and paleo can definitely be keto, but it's not the same. All right, let's go find some new stuff. Right out the gate, we find a grain-free granola. What is this? Okay, Autumn's Gold. This is a decent paleo find. Okay, certified paleo, which some would argue means something, but it's really just kind of third party. So here we have almonds, organic honey, which is usually the kind of sweetener you would look for. Honey, agave, dulcetti, stuff like that. Pecans, toasted coconuts, sunflower seeds. You know, if I had it my way, I'd probably do it without the sunflower seeds because it changes the omega profile, but still, this is pretty clean. Okay, we have coconut, coconut oil, vanilla extract, salt, and cinnamon. I mean, this actually is great. If you're doing paleo and you just need a quick snack, this Autumn's Gold, that is a great little product. I just, again, you know, being a keto guy, I tend to look at this and I'm like, okay, that's a fair bit of carbs, but even still, that's not a terrible amount of carbs. It's just calorically dense. Awesome find. You can get tricked in things like this because you'll be like, oh, flax. This is still going to have whole grain rolled oats, so we wouldn't want to have this. This is a grain that would not be paleo friendly, but they're right next to each other, so it can be deceiving. That's also a tremendous price for that Autumn's Gold, $11.99 right now. I wanted to point this out because people have asked. The keto bread at Costco. Yes, I bag on it a lot with keto, but would it technically be paleo friendly? No, it would not because of the wheat starch and the wheat gluten. I don't mind the inulin, I don't mind the chicory vegetable fiber a whole lot. I also don't like the soybean oil. You'll find with paleo, you don't want to be having a lot of those vegetable oils. You usually want good, clean oils. You want the coconut oil, maybe some palm oil. You want animal oils. You don't typically want the soybean oil, the vegetable oils, canola, stuff like that. You want to limit those. With things like chia, is a little bit of a gray area because some people say with paleo you want to limit seeds. You really want to limit legumes. You don't necessarily need to limit seeds a whole lot. You know, chia is something that you would absolutely find in the wild, and this is a very good deal. I love using chia on paleo because the soluble fiber can make a huge difference in your gut microbiome. The soluble fiber from chia ferments in your gut and diversifies your gut biome, which is so important on paleo. And quite honestly, if you look at the benefits of paleo, the microbiome shift is a big part of it. So great find there. That's also a really good price, 3 pounds for $7.39. Let's see what else we can find. So when we get into paleo stuff, it's a little bit of a gray area again. Now, some people that are hardcore paleo will say it's not a gray area. It's very clear and defined that beans are not paleo. The reason they get into a gray area is simply because the lectins are an anti-nutrient, which basically make it so that insects don't eat them. Well, if we eat large amounts of lectins, we can have a negative response. So that ends up becoming something that kind of goes into that gray area of paleo. It's not necessarily a find, I just wanted to address it. Again, Thomas Delauer's way and the traditional paleo way, you know, it might diverge a little bit. Anyhow, moving on. This nutso is a great paleo find. Okay, and here's why. It has everything that we could want. Cashews, almonds, Brazil nuts, flax seeds, chia, hazelnut, pumpkin, and sea salt. Okay, so see that little guy? Shows a little Paleolithic icon. There we go. Okay, we have nothing else in there. No sweeteners, nothing. This stuff is so good. I'm actually gonna grab some of that. Not the most price effective or cost effective, excuse me. By all means, almond butter would be fine too. Let's go find some other paleo finds. So with honey is absolutely going to be paleo, and we've got a lot of different selections here. We've got agave or we've got honey. Agave, believe it or not, is a higher fructose concentration, and it's usually derived in a way that we don't want to use it. I would typically recommend honey. Okay, the honey that they have here, got a lot of different varieties here. I like this NorCal Raw unfiltered. I love it unfiltered because you're getting some of the actual immunoglobulin effect too. You know how sometimes they say to have local honey to help with your allergies? Well, this incense can do that. We are in Northern California, so having this honey might help me out with some of my allergies, which I do suffer from. Anyhow, different story for a different day, but honey over agave at Costco, please. So speaking of honey and speaking of things like that, I put a link down below to Thrive Market. So if you can't get to a Costco, or if you just don't want to go to Costco, try Thrive Market, because a lot of the things that I talk about, you get them delivered right to your doorstep. Super easy, super convenient, very economical. So a lot of the things that I would normally get at Whole Foods, I get through Thrive Market. And you can literally even use their scanner app and see if you can get it cheaper at Thrive Market, because a lot of times you can. So highly recommend them. So there's a link down below, that way you can check out Thrive Market. Again, get the things that I recommend, get the things that I'm talking about here. Not to mention, you can sort by paleo. So you can literally go to their drop-down menu, select keto, select paleo. That way it takes all the guesswork out of the equation. You're watching a video like this trying to learn what's paleo, what's not. Anyhow, it just makes sense, and it's a great little thing to use. So use that special link down below to check out Thrive Market. Now, I just found something kind of interesting. We've got lentils, which again fall into the same category as the beans, right? One could argue that there's some lectins in them, not as much as beans. So again, it depends who you ask. There's kind of a controversy that goes on with paleo on that. I'm gonna say let's lean out of it because, well, I also don't like the sunflower oil. But then what's this coconut squash? Split peas. This is water, coconut milk, split peas, pumpkin squash, sunflower oil, tomato paste, salt, cumin, dried, ooh. I mean, it's a little high in carb, but I would consider this to be relatively paleo. Now, some people are going to fight with me a little bit on the split peas because, again, a little bit of anti-nutrients there, but this is a really cool looking product. And I love the fact, well, I don't love the fact they're using sunflower oil. That's not ideal, but I know in paleo they will use sunflower oil. So anyway, a cool little find. I like the fact that it's, well, it's just mixing a little bit of fats and carbs that I don't like, but most of the carbs are coming from the pumpkin. Pumpkin squash, spaghetti squash, anything like that is a great thing to use when you're on paleo. All right, this is definitely gonna be a good paleo find. I use a ton of hemp, whether I'm keto, whether I'm paleo, whether I'm low carb, whether I'm doing whatever, okay? The idea behind this is you have almost all of your amino acids that you need, okay? So you've got a much more complete amino acid profile, plus hemp has what is called methionine in it, which is an amino acid that you normally don't get from things like pea and stuff like that. So if you're trying to round out your protein profile and you're trying to lessen the amount of meat that you consume, these hemp parts are great and they're absolutely good to go on paleo. Which kind of leads me into this next one, because a lot of times when you see things that are keto, a lot of times they'll also be paleo, but sometimes there's things you have to look out for. So like this new thing here, this keto savory salad topper, slivered almonds, walnuts, pepitas, sunflower seeds, and chia cheese sticks. Okay, so we've got roasted pepitas, walnuts, sunflower seeds, slivered almonds, chia cheese sticks, which is cheese, salt, ooh, rice flour, butter, cream, potato starch, tapioca flour. Nope. Okay, so by a macronutrient standpoint, this makes it keto friendly, but unfortunately, because of the rice flour in there, this would not be paleo. Okay, so it's one of those things we have to really have a trained eye to see this, because you think, oh, it's keto, it's got to be paleo too. No, because you can still have fillers, because keto is all about just keeping the macronutrients a certain way, whereas paleo is much more ingredient focused. Remember, keto, macronutrient, paleo, very ingredient focused. So that doesn't make the cut, unfortunately. All right, here's some great paleo stuff. Cool thing is, these are finds that I have also talked about on my keto hauls. This one, mackerel, a great paleo find, okay? The hard part with paleo is I don't recommend consuming copious amounts of carbs with copious amounts of fat. So something like wild mackerel that's very high in fat, I wouldn't want to see you combine it with, say, paleo granola with honey, right? Because we're still getting a sugar and a fat mixed. So even when you're doing paleo, I recommend that you keep your carbs and your fats relatively separate, just so that you're not combining them too much. So that's good to go. This pink salmon's good to go. I'm just gonna blaze through this. This wild ahi, looks like there's one left, is good to go. And the safe catch is good to go on the sardines, okay? All of these are good to go. Everything here, okay? Now, I would prefer that you go chunk light over albacore just because of the mercury content. I've talked about that a gazillion times. Keep moving along. This albacore is good. This is wild planet albacore is actually delicious. But then we get to the premium chunk chicken breast, and I would not recommend getting this just because the modified food starch in there, as well as the phosphates and the natural flavoring, not something you would find in a Paleolithic era, right? You would not find that as a caveman. It's really hard to find paleo approved sauces because they have to really be made from scratch. Tabasco, let's see. Yeah, Tabasco, I love Tabasco. It is absolutely paleo friendly. Distilled vinegar, red pepper, and salt. So people think Tabasco, they think junk. It's not junk, it's actually pretty clean. I'm gonna get some because I need some for the house. Okay, we get into the baking section. Almond flour, that's a given. Tremendous paleo find there. I have plenty of that at the house. Okay, use that instead of regular flour. A lot of times, even like the gluten-free flours, they're not gonna work on paleo. Why? Because they have rice in them, they have potato in them, they have all these grains and things like that that you just don't wanna use on paleo. So let's keep looking here. Sugar is out of the equation. Processed, even if it's organic cane sugar, I don't recommend using it. I recommend keeping it out of the equation. Vegetable oils, all those are out of the equation. Marianne's avocado oil, totally good to go. And then here we have a different olive oil. What's this one? Kalamata olive oil. Ooh, that's a really good price on that too. $7.89 for a liter. Ooh, nice. I have plenty of olive oil from so many grocery hauls and stuff. This would be a great one. I'm looking at what I see right here, and price-wise, you get organic. Wow. It's the only organic olive oil. Wait, there's one at the end there, but $7.89 for an organic liter of olive oil. Let's compare that to this one down here. This is a better price, but I really like that Kalamata idea. So I'm gonna vote for that one. Coconut oil. I love me some coconut oil. This is such a good bargain. I bring these home on grocery hauls sometimes, drive my wife nuts. She's like, we don't need more. Anyhow, this is such a good price. Coconut oil and lard and leaf lard and tallow, I use a ton of on paleo. This is deceiving because their branding just looks paleo, but it's not. Okay, whole grain wheat flour, whole grain oat flour, wheat protein isolate, brown sugar, no. It's interesting how the better for you brands have sort of like adopted this look of like a wholesome look, excuse me. And this brand has that wholesome look, but it's really no better than like another pancake. This would actually be okay, this Kinder seasoning. Salt, pepper, garlic, I actually like that. Sea salt, dehydrated garlic, black pepper, and sunflower oil. I wish it didn't have the sunflower oil in there. It must be as like, I don't know why they're putting that in there. But I like this because it's just super easy. Like it's just salt, pepper, and garlic. There's no like paleo certification on it, but interesting. How much sodium? 180 milligrams in a quarter teaspoon. That's a lot of salt. I don't need it right now, but that would work on. That's a decent paleo find. Cayenne. Those of you that know my apple cider vinegar drink recipes know that I like to put cayenne in it. Stuff's intense. The interesting thing about paleo is a lot of times paleo will illuminate sensitivities. So when I was doing paleo before, it really illuminated how sensitive I was to nightshades. And that means like cayenne, tomatoes, things like that. I actually end up having a little bit of an immune response with them. I actually have like a mild allergic issue with them. It's kind of funny. But then as I consume them more, it tends to go away. It could be the lectins, it could be anything. That's the interesting issue I have sometimes with paleo. When you look at it, they don't want beans because of lectins. And at some point you start to alienate things that actually would have been around in, Paleolithic times. But things like chili pepper and stuff like that are okay, which are still nightshades, which still have lectins in them. So beggars can't be choosers. You kind of have to, I think if you're keeping the grains out, you're keeping the dairy out, you're really ahead of the game. So sweet potatoes, I would consider to be paleo, but let's see what's in these. Sweet potato fries. I can already tell you no. Organic sweet potatoes, vegetable oil, sunflower, soy, and canola. Cornstarch, nope. Rice flour, nope. Sodium bicarbonate, okay. Yep, so just make them yourself. Salmon burgers would be interesting. This would be a good paleo thing. Let's see what's in it. Gluten-free, no fillers, pink Keta salmon. Oh my gosh, and then the vegetable oil once again. Canola oil, ground onion, that's okay. Potato extract. Man, we're in the snack section, the frozen section, the refrigerated section. It's a lot more difficult to find things because the whole idea behind paleo is you are living close to the earth. And when you're in the frozen and preservative section, that's tough, right? Good old pasture-raised eggs, exactly what we want on paleo. I love that they have organic and pasture-raised, but I don't need to beat that into the ground. I talk about it all the time. Additionally, if you were to have milk on paleo, which again, it's a divergence of like, some people think it's okay, some people don't. It depends who you ask, but I'm going to address it anyway. This organic whole milk as A2 protein. I've talked about in many videos. We want A2 protein because A2 is the old variant, not the new genetically different variant. Cows changed over the last 1,000 years, and most of this milk that you see here is A1, which means it's a different kind of casein protein that contains something called BCM7, which is a bioactive opioid, and that affects your body similar to how an opioid would. And it actually can get you addicted to that stuff, but it also has an effect on your brain in that case. Brings me to these bad boys. Look at this, Siete. I love these chips. They are like, look at this, cassava flour, avocado oil, coconut flour, chia seed, and sea salt. That is paleo, okay? Gluten-free, dairy-free, grain-free, paleo, vegan, soy-free, okay? I love these guys because they have really leveled it up. This is not a sponsored placement for them. I am just singing their praises. If you're not doing keto, if you're doing paleo, these are the way to go. So you see what they're using? They're using cassava. Okay, cassava root, tapioca, same concept. Okay, and I know you're saying I'm touching my mask. Look, I have a funny nose. It falls off my face. Look, I have it cinched up. Say whatever you want, but I have to adjust it now and then. All right, so the cassava is what we want to aim for. I'm gonna get some of these. My wife's not doing keto right at the moment, and I know she'll enjoy some of those. My friend's 4505, definitely gonna be a paleo item here. Let's see. So in this case, they're using coconut palm sugar, which makes it much, much better because that is something, yes, maybe you actually could get in Paleolithic era. Also, this just fits the mold of what it is, right? So fried pork skin, salt, coconut palm sugar, spices, fried and rendered pork fat, not fried in vegetable oil. So a good find there. I'm gonna get those. Sweet potato chips, organic sweet potatoes, organic canola oil, and or sunflower oil. So these could be okay. I don't like the idea of the canola oil, and I don't like the question there, canola and or sunflower. So I'm gonna pass on them, but if that was a different oil, these would be good to go. Plantain chips. Plantains are also very high in resistant starch, especially if they're not cooked, but in this case, they're cooked. But look at the ingredients here. Plantains, coconut oil, Himalayan pink salt. That's it. I don't need these in my house, but that is a good price because this is pretty heavy. You're actually getting a lot. Big old sign that says paleo on that. Happy to see that too. Okay, so the butter, again, that gray area with paleo. The Kerrygold would be the one that I would lean towards. Again, you just have to lean into as much down to earth as you can. Grass-fed, grass-finished cows. Okay, we don't know. Sure, there's some processing that goes into it, but if you're trying to live as close to the earth as possible doing paleo, that's an important thing to note. You've probably seen this before. A paleo bar. Do you think it's paleo? Probably not. No. Organic whole almonds, organic honey, organic shredded coconut, pumpkin seeds, coconut oil, Brazil nuts, pumpkin seed protein, organic chia seeds, cinnamon, sea salt, vanilla extract. That's the kind of stuff we're looking for, okay? That's exactly what we're looking for when it comes down to something that is good and clean and paleo. Like everything is down to earth, everything is easy stuff that you could find. So I would definitely recommend these if you're doing paleo and you just want a little snack. Okay, I don't need those in the house because they are too dang good. Bacon, definitely paleo. I would go for the thick sliced if you can. Okay, when it comes down to nuts and you're doing paleo, very important that you find ones that do not have additional oils. So in this case, they added peanut oil. So let's try to find some ones that don't. Unsalted mixed nuts, still have peanut oil. Unsalted cashews, peanut oil. I think these are gonna be the same, honey roasted cashews. So you might be thinking, oh, they're cashews and it's honey. So I can have it on keto or I can have it on paleo. Organic cashews, cane sugar, and then honey. If it was just the honey, you could actually have that on paleo, but they added the cane sugar, which makes it a no-go. Same kind of idea with the salt and pepper cashews. They add some seasonings in there, but then they add the peanut oil. If they didn't do that, that would work. Here's a new thing though. Brazil nuts, super rich in selenium, super rich in zinc, very good for us on paleo or keto, and super low carbohydrate content. Look at 2 grams of dietary fiber means 2 grams of net carbs. Okay, you only need a couple of them though. Okay, so 9 nuts is gonna give you 210 calories. These are great if you are trying to combat low thyroid. So I would recommend those. That's a great keto or paleo find. I keep saying keto, but you can tell what kind of videos I normally do. Pistachios. Yeah, it's this one I think you wanna go for. Yep, just the regular Kirkland brand. That way it's just dry roasted pistachios and salt. Makes it super easy. Almonds, as long as they're raw, you're good, or dry roasted. Pecans, again, I could do a whole nut haul, which I've done before. So yes, those are good to go. My personal favorite, macadamia nuts, and I need some of these. So palmitoleic acid, super clean, macadamia nuts and sea salt, that's it. Super easy, right? Again, leaning as these nuts do not have any skin, there's no phytic acid, so they're a great paleo find. Is this gonna work on paleo? 0 sugar. Let's see, we've got grass-fed beef, water, sea salt, lactic acid, cultured celery powder, garlic powder, red pepper, black pepper, cherry powder, coriander, onion powder, white pepper, ground nutmeg, parsley, beef collagen, beta carotene. You know, technically this would be fine. I don't see anything. Yeah, right there, certified paleo. Okay, so I mean, that just confirms that some of this stuff that might be questionable, like the cultured celery powder, stuff like that, technically fits paleo. And that's a really good bargain, but also totally keto friendly too. So keto and paleo. I love that. That's awesome. 0 grams of carbs. Totally getting some of those. A lot of the jerkies you have to be careful of because they will have gluten added to them. They'll have soy added to them. All kinds of things you gotta be careful, like the Korean barbecue. Someone opened that and tried that one. That's exciting. If you have to go cheese on paleo, I would recommend going for goat. I would recommend going as close to the earth as possible. What about some of this coconut stuff? Okay, we've got coconut curry, water, coconut cream, onion, potatoes, tomato paste, safflower oil, ginger, cane sugar. Dang it. Okay, what about this one? Water, onion, tomato paste, coconut cream, safflower oil, rice vinegar. I think I'm okay with the rice vinegar there. Ginger, sea salt, garlic. So this one, this vindaloo, I would consider decently paleo. And pretty cool product too. Let's see. 12 grams of carbs. There's no sugar in it. Half a cup of that, 12 grams of carbs, 2 of which is fiber, so 10 grams total carbs. I mean, you could put that on some chicken and it would even be somewhat keto friendly. Or at least low carb, right? Hummus. What's in this? Is this a chickpeas, water, tahini, sunflower oil? Yeah, I would consider this. Again, chickpeas again kind of fall into that lectin category, a little bit of gray area. What about holy guacamole? Avocados, vinegar, onion, salt, garlic. Yep, we're good here. What about the chunky guacamole here? The Kirkland brand. A little bit cheaper. Get $13.99 versus 29 cents. Oh wait, never mind. 29 cents per ounce. This is way cheaper because you're not buying in individual containers. Hass avocados, organic tomato juice, onions, lime juice, organic lime. Still paleo, still good to go. It's bone broth. Huh. Definitely, yeah, this is a good paleo find. 3 ingredients, sweet. Filtered water, chicken, carrots. So that's the nice thing. On keto, we might say, oh, carrots, but I mean, look, there's not even a carb in there. This is a cool find. I'm gonna try some of this. How much is the sodium content? Pretty low sodium too. 1/3 of this is only 120 milligrams. That's cool, definitely trying that. Ooh, check this out. Here's a cool paleo find. Kevin, I love you, Kevin. Paleo lemongrass chicken. Tender chicken breast marinated with vibrant lemongrass sauce with coconut milk, basil, and hints of garlic. So we have boneless, skinless chicken, sea salt, yeast extract. I don't like yeast extract a whole lot. It's kind of like MSG. Lemon juice, granulated garlic. Okay, then we get into the sauce. Coconut cream, coconut aminos, coconut nectar, water, sea salt, coconut sugar. Okay, so here's the interesting thing. Coconut sugar, some people will say, is not paleo. I made the judgment call with the 4505 with these guys that it was paleo. Okay. Lemongrass puree, basil, ginger, tapioca starch, lime juice, dehydrated onion, xanthan gum. Now that one and monk fruit. The xanthan gum a little bit weird about, but I kind of want to try this. 5 grams of carbs for, wow, a 5-ounce serving. I'm going to try that. That actually sounds really good. Totally want to try that. Again, halfway decent paleo find for sure. Okay, we've got these 3 Bridges egg white bites, which always make my keto hauls. But then we've got eggs, cottage cheese, some stabilizers, locust bean gum. I don't know. Nah, there's a lot of. Again, see, paleo, you get a little, I think paleo is more restrictive. People say keto's restrictive. I don't know. I honestly do think paleo is more restrictive, but I'm not anti-paleo. I just think it's more restrictive. A lot of these cured meats and stuff like that, in my opinion, are totally good to go. But I do say that like prosciutto is going to be the best option. In this case, Italian pork leg and sea salt. All we got to it. $12.99 for wow, 3 packs of it? 3-ounce package. That is a really good price. I'm getting that just because I will absolutely eat that, and it keeps for a very long time. Oh yeah, if you guys saw my most recent haul, you saw my kielbasa sausage. This is such a cool find. Beef, water, salt, cane sugar. I remember that gram of cane sugar. It's got 1 gram of carbohydrate coming from 1 gram of cane sugar in it. Dang it. That is very frustrating because this stuff is so delicious. I just saw, yeah, paleo, no sugar added. Here we go, it looks like it's this guy here. A paleo-friendly breakfast sausage. We have, yeah, sea salt, water, parsley, extract of rosemary, and vinegar. That is a great find, and it's a relatively new item. I got some on my last keto haul, and this one, definitely 54 breakfast links for 12 bucks. Okay, great source of protein, great way to mix it up so you don't have to have your typical eggs and bacon. You can actually have some sausage, do something different. So, heck yeah, good keto find. I still have quite a few. Because they put them in these like little individual things, you don't have to open them all up and have them all go to waste. So it's really great. Sabatino's organic basil, cracked black pepper, paleo sausages. We have in here organic chicken, basil, roasted garlic, onion powder, garlic powder, organic vinegar, calcium alginate casing. I guess it's okay. Pretty high in salt. Not like it's a big deal, but 1 link is 590 milligrams. I haven't tried these, and these are also, let's see, are they fully cooked? Fully cooked. I'm gonna pass on them. I don't need them right now, but definitely is a good find. And we've got these Polish sausages from Teton. There's no paleo certification here, but these would fly. These are totally paleo. Yeah, we got grass-fed beef. Oh, nice. There's a lot of good paleo finds here. We had to wait until we got to the refrigerated section in order to get some good paleo finds. Ah, yes. So kimchi and sauerkraut, absolutely great on paleo. In fact, I would recommend supplementing with this. I love this Wild Brine brand, and I love this kimchi too. So you should be good to go. This one I know for a fact is, but let me look at this. Gotta crack this open. Napa cabbage, radish. Oh, I'm glad I checked. Rice powder. Not paleo, does not make it. Eat my words on this kimchi, but the sauerkraut, oh yeah, totally good there. Green cabbage, sea salt, garlic. Doesn't get more paleo than that. We are good to go. And that one is leaking. I now smell like a pickle. Smoked salmon would definitely be paleo. We're good to go there. Well, slap my hand, call me Randy, and tell me I smell like a pickle. We're out of here. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna get some of this stuff. I'm gonna go devour it. Even though I'm not paleo, all the things I got, with the exception of the Siete chips, would fly on keto too. So you can see that overlap. As always, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Because I love these zero shoes. These are like, there's zero, they're barefoot sandals, so they're basically mimic you being barefoot. Zero shoes, X-E-R-O. They're shoes, they're sandals, totally like barefoot. So they mimic me being barefoot. So they actually train me to push off the right part of my feet. I'm just weird like that. I'm also the guy that sits in a sauna at 210 degrees with BFR bands doing weird calisthenic workouts, and then sits in an ice bath and then follows that up with a HIIT workout, and then decides to, I don't know, like slather coconut oil on himself and sit in the sun to get a tan. Like, I'm just a weird dude. So, hey, you're the ones watching me though, so.